Here we go. What is going on? Come on, crew. Welcome back to the show. Everybody's doing good, man. Monday Night Football in the books, and the Chiefs again continue to roll. And what a week it was in week number 8. But we're talking must-add players as we enter week number 9 of the NFL season. Like I say every week, it is flying. Unbelievable. Hopefully you made it out of bye week Armageddon like I did. I believe I was, 9 out of 12 leagues I won this week. Shockingly enough, even had Tyler Huntley as one of my quarterbacks in a Superflex league and still pulled him out. So hopefully you guys got your dubs as well. We got some bye week troubles this week as well. The Cleveland Brownies, New York Jets, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all on the bye week this week. So a lot of heavy hitters will be on the bench this week, due in part to that bye week. So there are a lot of players on the waiver wire this week, including a big handful of running backs that we can contend with. First one on the board is a Tyrone Tracy. Now that a Cam Scattaboo, I mean, what an awful scene, man. His ankle looked like it wasn't even attached the way it fell that side. It was just absolutely nasty. Prayers up to him on a speedy recovery, but the replacement for Cam Scattaboo is going to be a Tyrone Tracy. So if you were like me in a couple leagues, you held him as a handcuff purely, and it was just it was a nightmare, man. We were waiting for him to at least get some traction. Now at least we know he's going to get a massive volume. There is going to be some Devin Singletary as well mixed into the mix as well for this backfield, but as long as Jackson Dart can rebound from this past week and they can still continue to move, at least we're going to get decent, 60-70% volume going towards a Tyrone Tracy. So priority pick up this week for running back 1 carries is a Tyrone Tracy. Tajay Spears, he is number 2 on my board. Told you guys like 3 weeks ago, go and get this man the minute he was off the injured reserve before the week before. I told you, better to be too early than too late. And the way it looks right now is that we're hearing lots of rumors that Tony Pollard may be on the trade block as well, even though the Tennessee Titans offense is something of a dump fire at this point. There are some positives that we could take from a 15-point spot for a Spears this past week. 46% ownership. He should still be there in majority of y'all's leagues, so you could go pick him up, no question. Tank Bigsby, he is on the board, even though the Eagles are on the bye week this week. We did see Saquon dealing with a little bit of a tweaked groin injury, and at least Tank looked good in relief when he was spelling out a Saquon as well. 9% owned. Go and pick up a Tank. 110% as we go down the playoff stretch for fantasy football. He could be a very valuable handcuff for us as well on a team that picked up their run attack like I thought they would this week as well. Dylan Sampson with Q Judkins dealing with an AC joint injury. Sampson could take some carries, but they're calling him week to week at this point. AC joint is very difficult. It's very difficult for these guys to even lift their arms. So a running back taking a lot of punishment on that shoulder. You think that AC joint's got to be healed up before Judkins does see the field. So Sampson, after the bye week, we will reevaluate. But, I mean, if you want to be early, you got space on your roster, go pick up a Sampson just in case. Kareem Hunt, he looked good on Monday Night Football as well. Big contest for him as well, over 18 points, if I'm not mistaken. And we did see an Isaiah Pacheco dealing with a late-game injury. He seemed fine, but we will see what the news is as the week does come on. But Kareem Hunt definitely is one of these players on matchup play, matchup upside, goal line upside for him, PPR upside. There is a definite play for him. Even with all these wide receivers, Kareem Hunt in matchup play still is very valuable. Bam Knight with news that the Arizona Cardinals have released a Michael Carter. Very weird situation. He starts 2 games. He looked decent enough, and then they just cut him. I don't understand what the Cardinals are doing, unless I missed something on the report, but I didn't see anything to suggest that it was anything foul play. They just cut the man, and it was like, we're done with you. So it is going to be Bam Knight, and it is going to be a Demercado 1-2 punch for these Cardinals. Again, 28% for Bam Knight. They're coming off the bye week. He is a definite must-add this week also because of the volume upside. I probably should have had him a few more slots above Hunt and Sampson this week, and even Bigsby because of the bye weeks, but I think the value for Bigsby is a lot higher than Bam, but Bam is definitely one of these guys we got to pick up 110%. Isaiah Davis for these New York Jets. They're starting to look like what they should have looked like to start the season. Run the damn football, run the damn football, and run the damn football is what the New York Jets need to be doing, with Breece Hall having a huge contest this past week as well. Finally broke out of his funk, man, out of the past 8 weeks. He's been kind of sitting in neutral. at least Isaiah Davis now, they're going to have a decent 1-2 punch. And then as long as Justin Fields continues to play like he did this past week, run the football a lot in New York, and these guys should put up some points. Tyler Algier still on the board, man. Almost 10 points this past week as well, even though I don't know what the hell happened in Atlanta, y'all. That was the weirdest game I've ever seen. The Miami Dolphins looked like world beaters. Tua throwing 4 TDs, and the Falcons couldn't get out of first gear. Absolutely ridiculous. But Algier, definitely 47% ownership right now. He still needs to be picked up on our rosters because he is giving us decent flex appeal play. We're a Wilson for the Green Bay Packers. He's starting to get some play as well, not only to spell a Josh Jacobs, but in the PPR game as well. It is very good to see. There's so much workload on a Josh Jacobs. They're finally realizing they can't work this guy into the ground if they want to go far into the playoffs. So Emmanuel Wilson is definitely one of these players. He's on my watch list at this point. I'm not rushing to the waiver to get him, but if you got a lot of injuries at the running back spot, he's definitely one to consider. Where Demercado, like I said, he's going to be the second fiddle to a Bam Knight, but at least there's going to be options now that a Carter is no longer on the team. Jaden Blue, the blueprint, he's on the watch list continuously for me. We saw what he was able to do. Unfortunately, he did drop that football on the fumble, but he's showcasing the fact he's trying to get his feet wet, man. There's so much explosive ability, and as long as this Dallas Cowboys team continues to move forward, Blue should eventually get more traction in this offense. Where Devin Neal, we saw an injury come to pass for Alvin Kamara. We will see how that does come this week as well. So Neal is definitely one to be on a major watch list on injuries because Alvin Kamara, if he does miss any time, Neal would be that guy. But, I mean, this run game in New Orleans is definitely not great overall, even with an Alvin Kamara. Quarterback time, Sam Darnold. Okay, we got some streamers. We got bye weeks issues coming again. So Darnold taking on the Washington Commanders, the Commies. And we saw what Patrick Mahomes was able to do in that second half. 42% for a Sam Darnold, 125 points. Definitely a top streaming quarterback this week as well. Everyone dropped Sam on the bye weeks, trying to fill their rosters. That's why he's under 50% again. But Sam's been very consistent overall all season long. Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine. He's 32% owned right now, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Coming off the bye week, if anybody needs a good game, it is a Trevor Lawrence. Love the matchup, but it is which Trevor Lawrence are we going to get this week as well? Taking on the Raiders, I'll take those odds any day. CJ Stroud coming off a huge contest. Where the hell did that come from as well? I don't understand. Vegas had the line for the 49ers underdogs at 1.5, and then the Houston Texans just railroaded them. You explain this to me like I'm a 2-year-old because I don't understand how Vegas knows this, but I guess, we're hearing rigged issues like we have, but I digress. CJ Stroud, if he can continue to move forward, he's got a good plethora of young wide receiver talent, and Nico Collins should be back this week, hopefully from that concussion, so we will see how it does go. He is streaming definitely a tough matchup. I believe they play the Broncos this week, so there are better options, but if CJ Stroud can continue to move in the right direction, there is viable upside. Aaron Rodgers, 53% ownership right now. They need another weapon, and I don't understand why they don't just continuously utilize these tight ends like the week prior, okay? They didn't look good in that second half, but Aaron Rodgers definitely is a good fill-in quarterback, anywhere from 15 to 20 points per week on streaming basis. Absolutely like it. Look who's back. It's Tua Tagovailoa back on my board. Again, it is matchup specific, but what the hell do we know? The Atlanta Falcons, they look like they didn't even come out to play. They got one of the best rushing teams in the league to get after the quarterback, and Tua was basically clean the whole game, man. I don't understand. They did practice a lot on the timing, so the timing was definitely there. Tua was getting that ball out super fast against those Falcons, so they could not get to the quarterback, but he's back on the radar, at least for matchup play. I'm not trusting him in every contest because it is Tua, and he does turn the ball over, but at least they figured something out in this past week to make him back to be fantasy relevant. J.J. McCarthy, now with Carson Wentz gone to injured reserve. His season is over, dealing with a shoulder injury. The man was hurting all game, and the coach continuously played him. So McCarthy's back. Right now, watch list player for me. I'm not rushing to stream him just yet. And Justin Fields back on the radar. He is on the bye week this week, if I'm not mistaken. If I said the New York Jets, yes, I did. The Jets are on the bye week, so we can wait. He is a notable one right now, 43% owned, as they should continue to run the rock a lot in New York if they want to have a chance to win any more contests this season. Wide receivers, Kayshon Boutte. You like booty? He is a booty. This guy just catches touchdowns like a madman. Drake May, man. Man, it hurts when you're right all the time. I'm not right all the time, but I'm being facetious, but Drake May was my dude, and he is such a damn good quarterback, and when you watch him play ball, it's sickening that he has to be on these Patriots, but Kayshon Boutte is absolutely taking that great role for him. Deep shots down the field, TD upside almost every week now. 53% owned right now. He's got to be owned on almost 80% at this point. I don't understand why he's still on this waiver wire in half of y'all's leagues, man. 84 points right now, and all he does is catch touchdowns. Get him on your roster because he is great in matchup upside. Troy Franklin is back on the books as well because of a Marvin Mims going down with a concussion, and Franklin is coming off a very good show, 16-point spot for Franklin. Absolutely love it this week as well. 33% owned, 79 points. You got to hope, man. It's Sutton. It's the run game with J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, and then it's Franklin. You're hoping that this is now going to be the maturation for these Denver Broncos. I really am, because Franklin is a dog when he gets the ball in his hand. Very good pickup and play. We can play matchups all day long with a Franklin. He's not a week-to-week guy just yet for us, but the upside is definitely here. Chimray DK for these Tennessee Titans. Excuse me, sorry, dealing with a little bit of a cough, but Chimray DK with these Tennessee Titans looking good, man. Same with A.O. Maynor, and I'm actually liking a DK that much more at this point. I know a lot of y'all like A.O. Maynor a lot. DK is one of these guys, very reliable, possessional wide receiver, can even get down the field. Good size, good length, and good strength. I absolutely love this kid, man. He is definitely one I'm actually getting to try to get on most of my rosters, even as a wait-and-see matchup play. Give him another couple of weeks. If he's on your roster, he could be a good time flex option for us. Alec Pierce definitely needs to be owned at this point without, A.D. Mitchell basically losing all favor with the coaching staff. We see what Alec Pierce can do, man, with a Danny Pennies, Daniel Jones, and this run attack. And now we see it. Pittman, we see Downs, and we see Pierce. It is the 1-2-3 with a Tyler Warren. This offense has weapons for days. We know Pierce is going to get at least 2 to 3 shots down the field, so your floor is starting to creep up to about 8 points with an Alec Pierce in half PPR leagues. And if he scores a touchdown, you're in 15 money. It is good stuff with an Alec Pierce. With a Watson, Christian Watson coming back from his ACL injury. He looked good, caught 4 passes, 80 yards if I'm not mistaken. 10 points in his first game back. You can't hate it. Was no worse for wear. No setbacks on that knee. This Green Bay Packers offense is definitely one of these more difficult situations to decipher. Excuse me. Because they will be getting a Jaden Reed back as well. So it's going to be a headache week in, week out, but he is back on the fantasy radar because of the speed, because of the ability. And before he went down with that injury, he started to round out the rest of his game last season where he was becoming more open in the red zone, catching touchdowns and stuff. I do like a Watson as well to be picked up on our squads. We're a Slayton, Darius Slayton, okay, is without a Cam Scattaboo, you know they're going to have to start throwing the football a lot, especially if that run game with Tracy does not get going. Slayton should be a big part of this offense as well. I had a feeling that they were going to nurse him along in his game back from his hamstring issue. He's still on the wire as well. Matchup upside and flex appeal, low-end wide receiver 2 numbers could be in play for a Slayton. Guys on the watch list right now is Torrey Horton and a Jalen Coker and a Jaden Reed. All 3 of these gentlemen are definitely on the watch list. 8% for Horton. Like I said, when he had his blow-up game, like back in week 2, I told y'all it was not going to be fantasy viable on consistent basis, but it is going to be upside play in matchups. They're trying to get Cooper Kupp more involved in this offense, so right now it is only Horton on a notable addition watch list for me because we cannot trust it week in, week out unless you're in a pinch, and it is a good matchup upside. Same with Coker. He's trying to get his football legs back until this offense can actually spread the football around. We know Bryce Young is likely gone 2 to 4 weeks with that high ankle sprain, so if it is Andy Dalton, I don't expect a whole heck of a lot from Coker. And Jaden Reed, he's coming back from the injured reserve within the next week or 2, so we are getting in early on this one. But again, with this Green Bay Packers offense, with Dobbs, with Golden, with Watson, with Kraft, there's so many mouths to feed. Jaden Reed, I maybe jumped the gun a little bit because I didn't expect Watson to come back as fast as he did, but at least Reed is another viable option of a playmaking ability. Tight ends, finish this thing off with A.J. Barner. Tight ends was good last week. It's kind of cooled off just a little bit. Barner was dropped for a majority of y'all's leagues, due in part to the bye week, 17% owned. He's almost at 60 points. He is a quality tight end. It's another problem for a Torrey Horton because it is JSN, Jackson, the Jigba, Cooper Kupp, and then A.J. Barner. So this is kind of how they're spreading the football around at this point. Torrey's kind of getting the least amount of the targets, but I do like it this week as well for Barner to play well off the bye week versus those Washington Commanders. Evan Ingram is back, baby. maybe. But again, I wanted to see so much more. I was wrong. Thought it was going to be a big-time show for Ingram this week. Did not pan out. He almost scored, which would have lifted his game totally and made me look like a genius as well. Did not happen this week. But Evan Ingram, 55% owned. This offense is moving in the right direction, spreading the football around, and there's a lot of quality on this offense. Evan Ingram definitely can be owned and played if you have issues at your tight end spot. Jonnu Smith, matchup upside only, dropped a touchdown as well. This one would have been so much better. Another player I was pegging to score. He did not after National Tight End Day. Everyone was scoring except some of these guys. Jonnu Smith up and down. You know what it should be? It should be DK, it should be Warren, and then it should be Freiermuth and Jonnu. That should be the Steelers' offense at this point, but clearly at this point it is not, and it is quite disappointing for me as well. And we'll see how it does shake down, but Jonnu Smith definitely in matchup upside. Juwan Johnson now with Tyler Shogg being the quarterback. This is now check down Charlie upside for him once again. He should get a lot of targets as the safety blanket for this young rookie to figure out his game, and I do like the pick up and play on matchup upside for Johnson as well. He should come back to life like he did this past week. Theo Johnson now without a Scatterboo. His role could increase as well. Like I said, we'll see how much Jackson Dart and these Giants do throw the football, but he is up and down, almost 60 points, man. He does give you some big splash plays, and then he disappears. Like, that's the issue with Theo Johnson right now, so it is definitely matchup specific, where Colston Loveland finally graces my list. I'm not necessarily buying it just yet because Caleb and a company, they just struggle so much on certain games, and Colston Loveland just can't find his way. Luther Burden can't even find his way into the game plan. So at this point, watch list for me. I know a lot of y'all are super excited about Colston Loveland. He's a good, talented tight end, but at this point, you got to pump the brakes and wait until it actually starts getting targets in his direction. Noah Fant, okay, Cincinnati Bengals, he's at least worthy of a consideration with Joe Flacco. He's at least getting involved more than enough. 40 points, scoring touchdowns. I do like what I see. So as long as Joe Flacco continues to throw the football, I'm totally okay with him as well. And Isaiah Likely is on my watch list now that a Lamar Jackson is back. Likely looks healthy as well, and they're not necessarily utilizing a Mark Andrews. They need a big oomph in this pass game with Lamar back. Likely could have a big role moving forward as they try to win every single contest for the rest of the season to get back in the playoffs. But there you have it. That is week number 9. Waiver Wire must-add players. Like I said, hopefully you guys got through bye-week Armageddon and got those dubs because it was a decent week for me as well. But let's continue down this path and hopes to hoist those trophies in the next coming weeks. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, who you in on, who you out on, throw it in the comments. We can definitely talk it out, but we'll see you next time. I am out.